Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lisa, the prayer.
Yep. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day and all that you do for us. Please bless all who are here and help us in making good decisions for our borough. We ask this in your name, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Bob Barlett.
Present.
Scott Gutschall.
Here.
Lisa Knutson.
Here.
Steve Knutson.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Jim Still.
Here.
Do we have anybody that would like to address council at this time? Please step forward and give us your name and your address. You have 3 minutes, please.
Here.
It doesn't matter. You can do it right there.
I'm Dawn Crissette. I live at 123 East 3rd Street. I'll make it quick. My name is Dawn Crissette. As an educator, I teach my students that we must fight for what they believe in, and they must do so in a thoughtful manner. In 2018, my husband and I purchased our home, on East 3rd Street because we fell in love with an old building that needed some TLC. But we were completely unaware of the parking situation that would cause so many problems from purchasing this home. The major issue we have with parking is not that we have to pay for it. We are fortunate enough to be able to afford parking passes for our cars. It is one of equity and lack of understanding from those who pass the rules for parking. This came to a head a few weeks ago with the parking lot repaving process. No residents to our street were ever notified, nor was there ever any signage posted that this would be happening. We received tickets both weeks because they decided to keep it closed during street sweeping, particularly. The first week we came down and discussed it. We were told that we should have to walk at least 4 blocks or more if we need to go home. My daughter's 17, she works till 10 o'clock at night. She's not walking 4 blocks to find a parking spot. The following week we were told we could park on Dorcas or Brown. We parked on Dorcas, we got tickets again. I understand that the parking lot is a specific instance. However, we have recently had other parking spots taken away, in addition for church, which I understand they do need more handicap spots, but those spots are continuing to be handicapped even when church is not in session. No one on our street needs those spots for handicap parking. And when we pay for spots to park at our homes, it would be nice if we could actually park in front of our homes. Decisions of huge expenditures seem to be being made without ever communicating with our community, with the citizens for how we would like to proceed. In this age of availability of communication through digital means, I find it very disheartening that there's never surveys for the community to be involved in any decision making. A link could easily be sent out. The water authority sends us notifications when there's going to be flushing of the water lines. It would be easy enough to send out text messages to those around the area when something needs to be decided on, or when you would like input from the citizens who actually live in this downtown area. 1 block over from my house, they have no parking meters. They don't have to pay to park. My street is entirely residential except for churches. AAA is there, but they are also a Brown Street address. So we're just asking that the residents as well as the businesses be taken into consideration when it comes to parking in the downtown area. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address council this time? All right, we'll move to consent agenda. Is there anything in the consent agenda that you'd like pulled out to discuss? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we pass the consent agenda.
So moved.
Right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Borough manager.
All right, I'm going to defer my first one here to the mayor in our junior council program. So,
Okay, thank you.
you.
First thing that we'll have to do, when I presented this program to our previous council last year, They were all in agreement for me to go ahead and pursue it, and I wanted to wait till the school year this year. At that time, there should have been a resolution developed, and there was not, so I would like to do that this evening. I checked with Mark, and he has that all ready to go, so I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
When I contacted the principal at the Mifflin County High School, I had explained to him about the program, and that I was in need of 2 participants. They could be juniors, seniors, that could be 2 girls, 2 guys, a boy and a girl, whatever. And he said, well, just give me a day or so and we'll take a look at it. He said, right off the top of my head, I even have a possibility of 2 that I might want to approach. So it was like 2 or 3 days later, I got a call from him and also from one of the teachers, Mr. Lovely. And they informed me that the 2 that they had selected was Leanne Weaver, this is Leanne in the dark hair, and Ava Kelly. They're both juniors at the high school. Let me tell you just a little bit about these girls. Leanne Weaver is a junior. She's on the debate team in government study. She's dance. She's employed at Rita's Ice Cream. You may have seen her there. And after graduation, she'd like to study law. And Ava, she is also a junior, and she's in a key club. She sings with the Qatari singing group. She's on the debate team, government study. She's on the tennis team. And after graduation, she's interested in studying government. So these 2 were selected out of all the students, and I'm very proud of them. I've had an opportunity to spend some time with both of them, and I think it'll make a nice addition for us, and also the experience for them as they go through their finishing high school and on to college. So what I need to do is develop a pledge for them. I'm going to have the girls come up here. And raise your right hand. I, and state your name,
I, Leanne Weaver,
do solemnly pledge
solemnly pledge
that I accept the position
that I accept the position
of Lewistown Borough Junior Council Person.
of Lewistown Borough Junior Council person.
I promise to attend monthly council meetings,
I promise to attend monthly council meetings,
observe Borough Council meeting rules,
observe Borough Council meeting rules,
and actively participate in borough business.
and actively participate in borough business.
I understand that I cannot
I understand that I cannot
vote any issue.
vote any issue.
And I can. That's all right. I cannot attend executive session. Those are the 2 stipulations. You won't be able to vote, but you can participate in the discussion. You can ask questions, take notes, whatever you want to do. So, okay. And then those signed.
Would you like a little? Oh, wait, that's
Just,
you.
I signed that one. We've had, in the past, we've had several times we had done this, over the years. Our first participant was Tyler Gum, and I'm sure a lot of you know him and the success he has had. He is the director of the Veterans Museum over in Williamsburg, and he every time I see him, he comments about his time here, and it's very important that we do this to enlighten them as far as what the responsibilities of local government is, and since both of them are heading in that direction, this will be the ideal thing for them. So thank you for your cooperation. I appreciate that.
Are you two girls in media?
Yeah, I took media last year.
Then you're okay. Hear that, Mr. Hurto?
I heard.
Tell them what the one said to you, Tyler.
I did have one of them in class, so 8 years ago or so. Well, welcome aboard.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome to the table. So if we go to number 2 here, GSL Consulting, I had sent this out last week or so. This may be something that you had discussed or heard, a while back. With the amount of funding that we're looking to secure for our digester, for our DEP consent, Nick Socio works for GSL Consulting out of Harrisburg. He goes after grant money at the state level. So we had met with Nick last week, I think day 2 of me being on the job here, and went through kind of what he does, what he can do for the borough. So Nick has a lot of political ties at the state level. He had worked for he was the chief of staff for Governor Wolf when Governor Wolf was our governor. He currently has a good working relationship with the DEP secretary at the state level. They worked alongside in the Wolf administration. So Nick, and he told us, I don't usually work with governments. He said, I'm more of a private sector. He said, but because I grew up in Lewistown, I worked at the borough. He said, I'm willing to give back. So the process that would be in place is if we would sign on with Nick, it's not exclusive to GSL. We still can use any other grant writers that we would so desire. Nick would come to us and say, hey, I found a grant. Give us the percentage of match that we as the borough would have to provide, and then he would do his work. He would do all of the back-end reporting piece of as well to finalize and finish out the grant. He currently is running on a 100% success rate. He's secured funding of upwards of $30 million in grant funding for one private sector individual. He said the last grant that they had put in, he put 3 grants in, and his grants were the top 3 grants in that funding. It does come with a 12% fee that cannot be paid out of the grant. But with the amount of money that we have to spend in a short amount of time, I think it's something for us to look at. Nick would never go after anything without approval. So he would send us paperwork, hey, I see this is what it's gonna cost you. Obviously, I'm gonna go to Summer and say, hey, what's the funding like, where are we at, can we match this, can we pay this? We have to sign off on it, and then he does his work. So, you guys have any questions for me? I know that Mark has looked over it a couple different times. There were some things initially that he had changed based on recommendations from Mark. He feels there's about $300 million worth of grant funding out there that maybe a lot of us don't know, that he has the ties to, the connections to obviously go after and secure for us. So, you guys have any questions for me?
So quick question, are we obligated for any funds up front, or is it
No.
them applying for grants and then
Yes.
giving
So
us a proposal of what we're eligible for?
Yes, and we do not pay unless he secures the funding. Yeah, so we do not, so he could strike out 3 times and we don't owe him a dime. So obviously that's motivation on his end to get the funding. So later on, under the new business piece, I will ask for approval for the contract at that point. And I can take any other questions that you have. I just know that, talking to Summer sat in a meeting, I had Zeke in there, Ben. With what we have coming down the pike, it's worth a look at. Like I said, it doesn't cost us anything until we sign that paper that says, hey, go after this grant. So that's that. Comcast 10-year agreement renewal. Mark is working on this. I just wanted to put this at the top of your list. It's coming due. Attorneys are working on finalizing that. Once that gets finalized, we will get that sent out for you to review, and hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah, so this is done every 10 years. Comcast, because they're a cable company, pays the borough a franchise fee, essentially because they use our right-of-ways to run cable wire. So for at least the past 2 and maybe more, the borough has used a law firm out of Pittsburgh that this is all they do is essentially cable renewals. So we've been in contact with the guy that did it last time there at the law firm. So I'll touch base with him, since Kim's going to make sure everything's chugging along. This will be done and then won't be done again in 10 years.
We have an upcoming energy contract approval needed. I believe our Penelec electric supplier expires in February of 2025. Before me coming on board, Summer got the enjoyment of listening and chatting with some electrical suppliers. I have a PowerPoint there that was provided to us from Energy by 5. I can tell you in the last week or so, I've learned a lot about energy. I've learned a lot about the natural gas markets. And I'll just show you this little chart here that was provided to me. You can see right now where the natural gas is trading at. We're less than $2, which the lower that is, the lower our power supply is. So Energy by 5, we've been contacted by Freedom Energy and also by IGS right now. We currently have IGS. Energy by 5 and Freedom Energy are both brokers. IGS actually supplies the energy themselves. So I have another meeting with them next week. Hopefully I can get this tidied up and to you guys potentially in November. Just as cold weather comes, this could start to spike back up. So if we can get it as low as possible, that is my goal. And then it will be depending on the terms, it could be anywhere from a 1, 2, or 3 year contract that we sign on to. Energy by 5 does have, so this is what our current rate is, 0.0662 per kilowatt. This is our estimated annual usage of just about 2.7 million kilowatts per year from the 31 accounts. There's a fixed offer. Now this is Energy by 5 based on 12, 24, 36, or 48 months. And then there's also a cap and trans pass-through, so it just goes based on your capacity and your transmission that you're using. This one can and will fluctuate based on capacity. The IGS that we currently have is recommending to stay with a fixed rate. 2 of the 3 say fixed, 1 says cap and trans. So I will gather more information, get this out to you. But there is.
Do you look at APPI? That's the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs recommends.
And I believe IGS works with the association. That's what he told me today on my 20-minute phone call with him. So I'll double check with him because he said that they work with PSAB as well. But IGS can also, I believe, look at different suppliers within themselves to get us the best rate.
Okay.
So I will follow up. But just to put this on your radar, this is coming down the pike. So if you see me starting to send you energy emails and natural gas graphs, you'll know why.
The district booths or somebody.
Yeah. I've learned a lot of stuff, I can tell you that much. It's quite interesting. Yeah. North Plaza paving project, that is now officially complete. Lines are painted, so that is done. Sacred Heart School Zone signage. Sacred Heart School had reached out and asked if we would approve them putting up some school zone signage. Initially, they wanted a no trespassing / school zone, and Dave, did they talk to you?
Somebody reached out to me, I think this summer, told me about it. And,
Yeah.
And I talked to Ben, and we explained to them that trespassing signs would have to be on their property.
On their property.
So we can only supply the school zone.
The school
signs
zone.
for the
So they're requesting just a school zone sign, just so people are aware that there is, that is a school zone. They have, they will pay the cost. We just have to install them on our streets. So later on here, I will ask for approval, for the school zone signage at their cost. 22 Ridge Road and the Bigham properties, we just got those appraisals back just this afternoon. So I can share that with finance tomorrow, and then hopefully have a recommendation till next meeting of what to do with those, and I will get those out to you guys. Number 8 here, Gannett Fleming IT support. So he had come to me, and the plant down there, the treatment plant, has a SCADA, which has all of their IT stuff happening. They asked Eads about it, and Zeke, you can jump in if I screw this up or anything. Asked Eads, Eads had sent them to System 21 for an outside kind of third-party support system, because Eads doesn't technically have an IT program like that. System 21 was contacted 2 weeks ago. They still can't come till like next week, and then when they come, they need to break through the firewall to be able to understand the system. Gannett Fleming's the one that put the system in. So Zeke is requesting that we contract back with Gannett Fleming for IT support just for the SCADA piece of it, in the event that they can remote in, they put it in, if something happens on Christmas morning and we need to reach out to Systems 21, well, they may say, well, we'll see you in 3 weeks, where Gannett will say, hold on, let us remote in, fix the issue, and go from there. I believe it's a $7,000 annual fee. And then any on-call services would be billed up to $8,000, but nothing beyond that. So it's just a $7,000 fee. If we have to do any on-call, it's billed up to $8,000. See if you have anything.
Yeah, that, with the yearly annual contract, that includes them coming up, doing an inspection, going through the whole plant and everything, so that's not just for them to come once or twice to fix something, that's
A preventative maintenance
system,
plan.
keeping everything up, updating software, so it would be beneficial to us.
So I have that for approval later here. This is just, engineering fees. Obviously, we have a lot of stuff going on, so I just wanted to throw that on there, to put that on your radar. Paint the Town Pink banners. Central PA Pink Zone reached out. We were able to put up 22 banners down through Market Street for them. For October here, I believe they got the ribbons on the parking meters. So we got those up. The domestic violence purple lights are on the fountain currently from the Abuse Network. And then our DCNR pool study reimbursement, it just came yesterday or the day before. So it is in our accounts. Just some important dates here. Borough Hall is closed on the 14th for Columbus Day. We do have a law and ordinance meeting coming up on Thursday the 17th. That will be at the community center to discuss the rental ordinance proposal. Halloween parade is the 23rd, and trick or treat is on Thursday the 31st.
Any questions for the borough manager?
Are you going to advertise the law and ordinance meeting down at Rec?
Yes, it is scheduled to
That's
go.
Is that a public meeting?
Yep, no, it has to be a public meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But it is being
And it's
advertised,
for the
we
public.
sent that,
Yeah, it's already been sent to the center.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, so we're being advertised.
That way any landlords don't have an excuse, you know, that they didn't know.
Right, I agree. What was your question, Mayor?
No, I wondered if it was for the public.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can come if you like.
thanks. My fault, huh?
Fire chief report?
Month of September, city responded to 24 calls, 22 in town, 2 out of town calls. 3 MVAs, 1 automatic fire alarm, 1 vehicle fire, 4 fires, 2 gas leaks, 1 carbon monoxide, 1 spill, 3 local alarms, 6 medical, 1 brush, and 1 public service. Heritage had 23 calls for service, 19 in town, 4 out of town. 2 MVAs, 3 automatic fire alarms, 1 vehicle fire, 5 fires, 2 gas leaks, carbon monoxide 1, spills 1, local alarm 3, medical 4, and police assessed 1. When I took over this position, I thought things were running kind of smoothly. Our months 1 through 9, I thought fire prevention was awesome. Month 10 has not been so nice to us. We had a sort of a major fire on the 10th on West 4th Street. It was accidental and rolling, but everybody did a fantastic job at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm very pleased with my people and the assistance that we got from out of town. The 7th, Monday, we had a major structure fire at 224 Valley Street. It was also road accidental, electrical was in the walls, and the thing about that one was 5 minutes before that, we had a carbon monoxide call on 4th Street. 5 minutes later, dispatched for a working structure fire on Valley Street. When they pulled in, fire was blowing out the windows, and the city just went by the place. So there was no fire evident at that time. We were very lucky on this call. We had 4 people injured, 2 just walking wounded, but we had 2 that got trapped in the attic. And their only savior was they saw the window and they both bailed out the 3rd floor window. One of the gentlemen was lucky enough that the ladder truck was sitting there and he was able to grab that. The second one just came through the window. There was about that much of the roof that he was able to hang on to, that they could get him off, or he went to the asphalt. So we were very lucky, very lucky. Both of them were treated at the hospital and released with just a glorified sunburn. Okay, nothing major. I talked to both of the gentlemen after the fact. As soon as we cleared the scene, I notified Lacey, and I also notified our fireman's relief so we could get paperwork on those. With that being said, I would like to commend Deputy Chief Markley. He was the first one there. He ran a perfect show. Everything that was needed. When I got there, I heard it. I left work, Center Hall, and it didn't take me long to get here. But I just sort of stood back, and between himself and Assistant Chief Shoup, they ran a perfect fire ground. If they needed questions answered or something help, I would help them out. But there again, with them being in control, that left me play a little bit too. So I was cutting holes in roofs and pulling stuff. But I would like to praise everybody, our support people coming in, our standby crews, because we don't know how lucky we came to not having 2 of our own. Right. And something on another note, I would like the council's thoughts on purchasing apparatus from here on out. Things have been purchased. It's been like that in my 47 years in the fire department. You know, a company decides they want to buy something. You know, most of the time they have to pay for it themselves, okay? But I would like, from now on, if you guys agree, that any major purchases comes through here or the fire department or the chief first. I don't have a problem, you know, with them purchasing things, but I'm worried about we're purchasing things that we need for Lewistown Borough. I'm not worried about purchasing things to get out of town calls, you know. I can't stop them, or we can't stop them from using their own money to buy stuff, but we can stop them from responding it to calls. I was just wondering what you guys' feelings are on that.
I would have to say I agree with you, Bob.
Yeah.
And I think that chapter 24 is being reviewed right now. One of the things that's been discussed is maybe putting a spending limit in there where the different departments have to come to council for approval. For example, like you said, if they want to buy apparatus, if it's over a certain amount,
Right.
they have to get council approval.
I mean, I'm not downgrading anything we need for the borough, but I'm worried about the borough first. And, you know, obviously, you know, we know what the price of things are nowadays, and, I'll bring it up. When Mr. Bartlett was the fire chief, I was a deputy fire chief. A certain individual company decided they're gonna buy $1 million fire truck, asking for help from the borough council. Neither him or I were ever notified, and we were borough, you know, sworn by the borough, not an assistant chief out of the station.
That is correct.
That stuff has to stop.
I'd like to make a statement on that as well, from the finance committee perspective. I've been asking for details since February of this year on what the funding plan is for that fire truck, and I've yet to receive it.
Well, cannot tell you anything. All I know, it's a 100-foot rear mount quint. It's gonna be blue and black. Other than that, I can't answer a question you've asked me about it. Mr. Socio give $1 million for a fire truck?
I'm not gonna say he can't, because I do know that one of the things he had mentioned was there's legislative discretionary money out there, and that he had gotten a town $500,000 within about a 7-day period towards a fire truck. So it's on our plate.
Okay. All right. My last thing is, welcome, Mr. Fink.
Thank you.
Mr. Bartlett, you have something?
Yes, I'd like to follow the chief's report up. Most people know that the fire department's been pretty dear to my heart for the past 50 years. And they did have a major fire on Valley Street on Monday, which is only a half a block from my house. And I was out of town, but I kept getting reports of what was going on up there. Of course, myself, being a past fire chief, I was being a little bit nosy, and I got home, I was down there looking around. The damage was devastating, but it could have been a lot worse. The house down from where they was at, there was about a 5-foot breaker there. And if they would have left the fire get past that, it would have probably took the whole block to Spruce Street. And I want to commend the fire department on the stuff they made there. And also, another thing I'd like to say too, and Chief, I hope you pass this on to the troops, but on behalf of this borough council and myself, we do recognize, appreciate the knowledge and skills of the Lewistown Fire Department. And we just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else to the fire chief?
I'm good, thank you.
Mayor? Yeah. Mayor, second.
That's okay.
Go ahead, Steve.
Steve?
Steve has something.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I wanted to say something with respect to the fire department. I've been fortunate enough to get to know a lot of the men in the fire department. My view of the Lewistown Fire Department is they are second to none.
Amen.
I contribute that a lot to the leadership that they work under, It's a totally volunteer fire service. They have a tremendous junior fire department program, and we're very fortunate residents of Lewistown Borough. We're not fortunate, we're blessed to have these young men and their leaders in the fire service. Greatly appreciate your job that they do, and I've had the opportunity to, through the years of my employment as a police officer, seeing these young men jumping out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning on a freezing cold night and take off to take care of a fire situation. The dedication is phenomenal, and I greatly appreciate them, and I'm grateful for the time to be able to publicly praise them. Thank you.
I will pass it on. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
I also want to thank the fire departments, all the major fires I've been on site, and it's amazing to see. I mean, it's like something out of a movie. The organization, the cooperation between the departments, whether they're here, the local, or come from out of town. I mean, it's just a heartfelt thing to see. And my dad was a member of the Brooklyn, and I can still remember him in the middle of the night running down the alley to get to the firehouse, pulling up his pants. that dedicated. So I know from growing up with it and seeing it firsthand so many times that I've been on site. So that's on my thank you also.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I did want to add another event to the Halloween event. That's the Safe Night Trick or Treat, and that's on the 25th?
Correct.
The 25th. What's the hours on that?
5 to 7.
5 to 7. That's a downtown. I don't know if any of you have ever attended that. That's a downtown function, and there's thousands of kids that come out for that.
What day is that?
I wanted to also mention about the Goose Day celebration. The Chamber and the Visitor Center did a magnificent job on that event. If you had a chance to attend that, you would see firsthand the work that goes into having a celebration like that. Goose Day celebration is a unique thing for our area, and it's amazing how many people now are coming from out of town to go around and see all the beautiful geese that have been crafted by local artists, and I mean, it's getting to be a really, really big event. We did some advertising through PSAB for it, and I think that also helps. So it was great. I mean, I was there a lot, and I really appreciate all that they did to get that together. Next Friday, October the 18th, is a grand opening dedication for the extension onto the Juniata River Trail phase. Have any of you been? Have any of you walked it? I mean, it's amazing. How about that, Keith? Have any of you been on the trail? It's amazing what they've done. It's extended now. I don't even know what the mileage is now. Has anybody ever heard how long it is? They don't have mileage markers up yet, but they're planning on doing that.
It's 5K.
My daughter and I, we walked it, and it's a beautiful along the river there.
Deb, it's 5K.
5K. So it's a hike, and at the end, there's also a parking lot if you want to come in the other way, rather than coming down Victory Park. The Victory Park is paved now, and I mean it's very, very nice. And people, when they're looking to move into an area, that's one of the things they look for. They look for trails and recreation, and Rec Park is, I mean, every time I come off that Charles Street exit, I mean, people have to be so envious of that Rec Park. I mean, it is beautiful, and we're very fortunate to have that here, so. Okay, I think that's all I had. Yeah, that's all I had. Anybody have any questions for me? Thank you.
Police chief?
Okay, for September, calls for service, we had 390 calls for service. Officers issued 67 traffic citations, 16 non-traffics, issued 34 warnings, 3 DUI arrests, 578 parking tickets issued. Total for the parking tickets issued was 7,590, and the total collected in September was 4,260. For a drug investigator report, we had a short time between meetings, so there aren't as many things on the report this time. But he has 2 active investigations, 1 new investigation, 3 misdemeanor arrests, 1 search warrant, seized 2 grams of fentanyl heroin and 6 grams of methamphetamine. One thing I wanted to mention, just to get out there to the public, we're going to start doing a weekly blotter on our Facebook page every Friday. We're going to have a summary of the incidents that were responded to for that week, just to get some more information out to the public. And that can be found on our department Facebook page under the Lewistown Police Department. So if you want to start looking for that on Fridays on our Facebook page, we'll summarize the incidents we had for the week. That's all I have for now. I guess we're gonna talk about the contract vote and
Yeah.
the business. Okay.
First solicitor, Mark.
There's 2 ordinances that were advertised for adoption. We talked about them at the last meeting, 2 weeks ago. The one is the omnibus ordinance amendments, which deals with a lot of small issues that have been hanging around that just needed changed with the codes. So do you want me to go through them item by item, or everybody remember that from the other week?
Yeah, we've heard.
Okay. They're advertised, it's advertised and is ready for adoption if that's council's pleasure.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Next, we have the borough manager ordinance, which amends the qualifications to provide that the manager has to be a resident of Pennsylvania. It removed the requirement that the manager live in the county of Mifflin.
You have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else, Mark?
You're doing executive session.
Yes, we are.
A couple short things there.
Okay. Back to you, unfinished business.
Yeah, so I'm asking for approval to contract with GSL Consulting for grant funding.
What's council want to do?
Make a motion to go with it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Roll call, please.
Sure. Bob Barlett,
Yes.
Lisa Knutson,
Yes.
Larry Sear,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Jim Steele,
Yes.
Scott Gutschall,
Yes.
Steve Knutson.
Yes.
School zone signs for Sacred Heart.
This will be paid for, the signage will be paid for Sacred Heart. Public Works Department will put them in, we'll put the one call in, but they will pay for the signage.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Police contract. You have information on that?
I saw the contract late last week, I believe. It runs from 1/1/25 through 12/31/27. I believe everybody, obviously I wasn't part of those meetings, but I believe that Scott had looked at it the other day and
Yeah, I did have a chance to review it. It's in alignment with what we had discussed and agreed to with the union, so I'll make a motion to move forward.
Seconded.
Have a roll call vote, please.
Bob Barlett,
Yes.
Lisa Knutson,
Yes.
Larry Seer,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Jim Steele,
Yes.
Scott Gutschall,
Yes.
Steve Knutson.
Yes.
the next one here is just authorization for us to remove a handicap spot at 322 Bratton Avenue.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And the last one there is just an approval to utilize Gannett Fleming for our IT support at the wastewater treatment plant.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Bob Barlett,
Yes.
Lisa Knutson,
Yes.
Heavy,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Jim Still,
Yes.
Scott Gutschall,
Yes.
Steve Knutson.
Yes.
I have one question for the fire chief before we go into public comment.
Yes, sir.
How many, did any already?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure, but I'm not that I'm aware of, no. Just get at least one piece out of both.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yes.
Public comment. Anybody else like to address council at this time on non-agenda related topics? If not, we'll adjourn to a executive session. Back to order after executive session. We have one or two.
Jim's still in the bathroom.
Who?
Jim.
Jim
Steele.
Flickering.
Oh, there's Harry.
Okay, quit flickering, don't make go off, tell me to get a flashlight.
That's my child you're talking about.
Do you want me to
see
send a
mama
flashlight?
bear come out?
Oh, you sound like,
You
come on, I'm hungry.
It's in the penguin thing, let's go.
Now we'll bring the meeting back to order.
There you go. Make a motion to amend the agenda.
To discuss payment of.
Oh, you have to go through it.
Yes,
I thought it was
you have
to- Make a motion to amend the agenda to authorize payment of back pay to McLaughlin for $1,223.25 and for Valmont for $1,107.
That's the motion to discuss and then vote on that.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now I need a motion to forward with that.
Make a motion to authorize the payment
Yep.
of back pay to McLaughlin for $1,223.25 and to Valmont for $1,107.
So moved.
Second?
Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Huh?
Is there anything else that's come in front of us at Borough Council tonight?
Wait, she said that,
Moving forward.
Maybe, I guess, because of the
That was
raise.
the next paycheck,
Is that for the
yeah. That was just the back.
Move
This is
we
moving
adjourn.
forward.
That's
thought
the
we were
back
doing-
payment.
That's just back payment.
We would need to pay that moving
Now.
forward.
I thought that was
Would that
all.
be part of the contract?
Wouldn't that be the new contract?
That
Yeah.
starts in January, but it's
Okay.
being back paid at that rate. So they never agreed on,
Just
The
give them
new rate.
$1.50.
That's,
Yeah.
They
that's
never-
their promotion rate,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then they'll get
Well, we
their
just
regular
did
raise
the
back.
promotions.
Okay. So they,
So they're getting a raise right now, that you're paying the back pay back to June. And going forward from now, they should be getting that $1.50 higher rate
all right.
till the end of the
That's not
year.
contract yet.
but that's the whole reason behind giving them the back pay.
Yeah,
So you're gonna have
they're
to,
getting the $1.50 now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
We're
not
not
part of
giving
the
them back
contract
pay.
yet. That's back pay up until this last paycheck. What about next paycheck through December?
They should continue at the new rate.
Right.
Oh, if that's what you're, okay, if you're saying it is, I mean, that's not the number that we said though.
yeah, June. Anything else?
Second Hubby's motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.